remember, big weddings doesn't equate to a successful marriage. As you want to have that big wedding, just remember you will be required of the same into marriage. And now in the marriage, it's not one day affair. Investing so much in it, and then you're left with nothing into marriage.
You're left with debt going into marriage. Welcome back to the Whatever Mamas. If you're not following us, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hurry up, hit subscribe, okay? It's about to be litty, y'all. All right, listen. So, Sarah, I want to talk about these people who put so much more into their wedding and the party that is the wedding than they put into their marriage. How do you feel about investing more in the ceremony versus the actual life together?
And that can be either emotionally and financially too, right? Yeah. But I think many people don't necessarily, invest much emotionally into it. I feel like finances are more, a priority just because, it's an expensive affair.
Yeah.
Right. And people forget that, this is going to just be a one day kind of an event. And many of us, unfortunately, we do it for public display.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you end up investing so much in it, and then you're left with nothing into marriage.
You're left with debt going into marriage, which to me is crazy. Like, what two ones up what really got na mattress kwa floor. Now on top of that, we've got debt. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. It really doesn't. But I was gonna say, you said people don't. It might not necessarily be emotional investment at the wedding level. But if you think about it, we wouldn't have shows like Bridezilla if people were not so emotionally invested in having a damn wedding that they turned into these sort of horrible people.
And that's what I'm saying. The part of it that you're getting involved so much into it is not because of my partner that I'm going to spend the rest of my time. You're getting emotionally involved in, oh my gosh, my cake, my dress, my things that have got to come and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? But you're getting so stressed because you want the day to go perfect. You want those pictures to go, nice and all that. And I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem when you focus so much, your focus is so much into those things that you forget about the important things that are going to carry you through into marriage.
Right. True story. And I'm telling you guys, half the people at your wedding, when you have those big weddings, you will never even see them again in your life, ever.
You did a big wedding in Kenya.
I have not seen 90% of those people ever again. I couldn't tell you who they are. Sometimes, like, even years after, when I would watch like my wedding video and someone would be like, who's that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad they came to celebrate with me. I'm glad I was able to afford it. But guys, in no way did I go into debt for a wedding. That doesn't make sense to me. I had what I could afford. But I've seen no, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. If you have help to do it,
you start having grudges because ulifanya pre-wedding, you are expecting people to come and contribute. I mean, weddings have become fundraising, like events.
Pre-weddings, because I am not for it. I know it was done in the previous generations. In today's generation, I'm just not for it. There's so many other options. I feel like before, because our moms and whatever, they had to pay dowry, they had to do this, and so those was how they would help them come together as a family. But at this point in our lives, if you are working and your husband is working, why do we need a pre-wedding? To me, that means you're about to set up something that is way beyond your means. I mean, if all I can afford is a party of 5 or 6 people and have dinner together and celebrate our marriage, I'm okay with that. It is what it is. 5 years down the line when we're millionaires because we build each other and we're doing a Beyonce, Jay-Z kind of thing, then go ahead. But if you can't afford it, I would say lay low. I don't think other people should invest that much of their money in you having one day of bliss and looking pretty in pictures. It's a no for me.
But you cannot underestimate the pressure, especially from relatives, from family,
right?
And especially if this is the first child, right? So they expect so much. Yeah. They expect so much, but they're not putting the money where their mouth.
Or sometimes you run into even your parents put the money in, but now it almost becomes your parents' wedding. It's not yours anymore. It's these people from my job and those people from my job and these people from our community. And it's like, well, am I getting married or y'all getting married? Like, what's going on? But I'm just urging you to put the same energy into the marriage, because marriage is hard. Lord God. Marriage is hard. I think purposing to wake up every day and love a person completely, even as you learn their faults, or as you hear them describe your faults, or as you people make you feel like when you first get married, it's bliss and it's happy and we'll be kissing and holding hands. It's really not. I think it's the hardest time because you're adjusting to, oh my God, this is forever. Okay, where before you've had boyfriends, you can break up and walk away, even if you make up a week later, you always feel like, here you're like, oh shit, you really cannot walk away. You have to sit, you have to resolve.
Sit through it, yeah. It becomes, and what you're saying, the first few days, first years, they are the hardest, just because, when you are dating them and, they're arguing with you, or they have this kind of, you have your own place to go back to. You're like, hey, I can take a few days,
And you can always text someone else and not feel so bad because you're like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like, and your girlfriends buy you drinks and they're like, you know what? Your ex, whoever was even better. In fact, let's go meet guys. You can't do that anymore. You have to look down, look at your ring and be like, damn. And not only because, I know there's people who go out and cheat, but for me personally, it's because it's a covenant, not just with my husband, it's a covenant with God. So if I'm going to walk away and do something like that, I'm doing it to God. And if that doesn't stop you in your tracks, sis, you're on a whole other level.
And sometimes putting the other person first, and then the kids come and everything changes, the dynamic changes.
So, again, you start relearning each other, right? Kids really literally make you start to relearn each other, even when you thought you knew each other. It's different. It looks fun and happy when it's on TV, but I'm telling you, when you it goes down to the simplest thing as who snaps at which baby, and like it's the smallest thing. So if you guys have a foundation that's built, then it's gonna collapse.
Exactly. As much as you want to invest in your wedding, as much as you want to have that big wedding, just remember, you will be required of the same into marriage. And now in the marriage, it's not one day affair. All right. It's years and years to come. So you're gonna have to go into it. I think that's why they do nowadays I see them doing couples therapy. I don't know what you call those, just before the marriage. I know Catholic Church is big with that. Like just before you get married, they invite you into this kind of a therapy and guide you and tell you.
Couples counseling. My church does it too. I just feel like, unfortunately, sometimes they don't really know the couple. It's just, let's say I've been going to this church forever, then now I'm in diaspora, then now I'm back home. My pastor, it's a new pastor now, it's been years. They don't even know me. So they give you that general kind of counseling. But that being said, I still think even with the couples counseling before marriage, it is very healthy to continue counseling into marriage, because again, you are making adjustments as you go. And mind you, like we said, after the first couple of years, it does get a little easier, but it doesn't get easy. You still have to put energy into having another person in your space, having another person in your emotional space, in your physical space. You're not gonna make decisions alone. I was laughing. I was telling my friend the other day, even when I'm at work, if I buy lunch for myself, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, did they eat at home? Like, you feel kind of guilty a little bit. You're so connected to your person. And you're like, well, are they eating?
If you're not having those concerns, if you're not, something is wrong with you, you're not in it.
But marriage is an investment. Wedding is an investment. Everything you do emotionally is an investment. And again, guys, whoever you worship or whatever kind of union you have, I would urge you to take it serious. I feel in this new generation, it's just kind of, if it doesn't work out, I'll keep it moving. You could get divorced anyway. Am I glad that now it's easier to get divorced? Yes, because there are situations where you do need to get away.
Yes.
My thing is that we shouldn't go into marriage thinking if it fails. So what is your final thought and advice for people planning a big wedding, thinking of a big wedding, holding off to getting married because they can't afford the big wedding? What would you say to them?
Yes. And trying to imagine the big dream wedding that you've always wanted since you were a child. Go for it. Just make sure that you are aware of what is to come. All right. Because you if you don't have a big wedding, and remember, big weddings doesn't equate to a successful marriage. All right. You can have a big wedding and then boom. All right. So you gotta have those principles. You have to be ready and aware of the whole picture, not just that one day event. And don't do it for anybody. Don't wait for your mom. Don't do it for your dad. Don't do it for your in-laws. Don't do it for a show.
And for me, most importantly, I think our wedding is consent of our two families to come together. So if his parents are in agreement, my parents are in agreement, and we're in agreement, and we go before God, those are the only people you need at your wedding. So don't rush into it. Do what you can afford. Live within your limits. Go out and be happy, because marriage still works in 2021, people. Okay? Leave a comment down below. Let us know what kind of wedding you had. Hey, listen, post some pictures. Let's see how beautiful you were on your wedding day. And we'll see you next time with the More That from Mamas.